the new sword, whatever, alien blade thing. It doesn't bother me as much whether or not it's better than Oni, for example, because
It doesn't
it's
necessarily bother me.
also a newer content. And that's
Yeah.
something as you go further down the line with producing new content, like in any game that you look at, let's go back to ESO for a
Yeah.
second because it's something that I know you and I can relate to a
Yeah.
degree. The older content in that game is harder, and that's with any game. Newer content is always, or older content is always harder than newer content because that's where the fresh beginnings of the ideas start in any game. And that's where the harder content is. And then as the game progresses and gets older and newer content comes out, the ideas kind of sadly dwindle away. And that's when you get a newer influx of generational gamers come in, and you realize not everybody can necessarily play at the same level, and things kind of get nerfed down a little bit as you go.
Yeah. I mean, that's a natural part. It's a natural process of games lifespan.
And their excitement for the game also, and their love for the game isn't quite the same, and you can see that as a game gets older.
Yeah.
They get a little more lazy with it, and just so various reasons why content gets easier
But also,
as it
this
gets
game's only
older.
a year old.
Yeah, but it's also you gotta remember it's made by kids, but it's also a Roblox game. So
Yeah.
again, there's various reasons why content's gonna be easier as it gets older, essentially.
Yeah. I get
Um,
that. But it shouldn't be that fucking easy.
right.
I don't
I
know.
mean, with it
It
being
shouldn't be
that
that.
easy, but at the same time, then on the flip side, newer content should always, 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 hands down, be better than old content.
Should be. I mean, I agree with that. They should be better. Now, what do you mean? When you mean better, I mean, as in like, 'cause I don't know if we have the same definitions of
Stats
better.
should always be better than the stats of the older content. And
Like
honestly, in my
the
opinion,
equipment and
multipliers should
items
always
content,
be
or
better.
like the actual gameplay content.
Not necessarily always gameplay content, cause like let's take High Isle for example. The quest lines through High Isle was a letdown, right?
Mm.
There was only fucking five zone quests for it, and it was kind of a letdown. But the gear that came out of it, so I believe it was High Isle that came out with Order's Wrath. Order's Wrath still to this day is a hell of a set. Right, it's still being worn to this day. But then you got Westfield that came out. Or not Westfield, Solstice that came out. And you get
I
Tideborn.
like the Death Dance. You get Tideborn. I like the Death Dancer Overland set too. It's
Your Death
alright.
Dancer is good, but stay focused for a minute. Then you get
Sorry.
Tideborn that came out.
Yeah.
Tideborn now is the top fucking gear set.
Yeah.
Tide, and even their zone story at the time was only like 5 before the second half opened up. But
Yeah.
so their gear sets, just their overland, like their crafted gear set, again overrides the old. It's always in some way their stats, their whatever is always better than the last gear sets. There's something that comes out of that that's always better than the last. Their trial sets, Lucent Citadel, which was with Westwheel.
Yeah, I think
No,
so.
no, that's
No?
Sanity's Edge.
Um, I don't think I know what Lucid's was. I honestly
Uh,
forget which trials go with which areas a lot of times.
and not Dread Cell. Osen came with Solstice.
Yeah.
I don't know. But like each trial has a badass gear set that's better than the last. Like for different, you know, roles. Again, each each content that gets released always has some, that's better than the last. So same thing in this concept. The blade, even though the quest was easier, which tends to happen, the item is better than the Oni. But the item should be because it's newer. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's where it's kind of a drawback, and you can kind of tell just even looking in the discords, both discords, honestly, like they're kind of over a lot of it, the hype. They're over dealing with a lot of the community to a degree. I think they're overwhelmed. They are young. This is clearly the first thing that they've kind of done. And I think sometimes they get, especially Nate, it looks like a little upset with handling and not being reciprocated the way that he wants it to be with the excitement. And he gets a lot of backlash and people talking shit. That's a lot to take on,
Yeah.
especially when being young. Um, and the things that he was excited for not being received in the way that he thought it would be, or they thought it would be.
Yeah. That's another thing with your player base. You can't always predict what about your new content or the content you're making that your player base is gonna actually like how and what they'll respond to
Right,
in positive and or negative ways.
right. And also understanding there's always going to be those people who are not going to be happy with shit, period.
Yeah, there's always gonna be people who are never gonna be satisfied, no matter how well you like, no matter how good you actually how good of a product or content that you actually made and put out, they're not going to be satisfied with it. The only part of this the only thing that I was unsatisfied with was how incredibly easy it was to do.
Right,
I wish it was a little harder, or at least took a little bit more time than it did.
right. And that's the thing. And that's where I think it's our generational side that we come from, is because we played games in an era where, and again, that's my hypothesis anyway, that we weren't able to go on and play with other people and get things handed to us. We played something,
It was
we played it because we actually liked to, and we had, liked to play it.
yeah
And if we needed to complete something, we had to do it solely on our own. So there was none of this, oh, can you trade me this? Oh, can I beg you for that? Oh, can you hand me that? Oh, look, I
yeah
completed it. But no, in reality, you didn't complete it. Somebody else technically completed it for you and just gave it to you. Like,
yeah.
so even coming into a
It was
game like
also it
these,
was always so exciting to be like to sit there and grind for something or to sit there and work and like complete something, a mission or a task or an achievement, and then you got to go to school or next time you see your friends, you're like, oh dude, I grinded for fucking 17 hours and I finally got this or I finally did that, and it was like I don't know,
right? And then
it
hear
was
either
always
hear
the
your friend
fun.
go, "Oh man, I did it in like 15," or your other friend be like, "Man, I'm still working on that. How'd you do it?"
Yeah.
Like the whole, yeah. And
And it
then
was always I was like, how did you get it done in fucking in 12 hours? And like I've been doing it for fucking 3 days, and it's like, well, I'm just you got to just to be like, oh, I'm just that good.
right, yeah, exactly, and that excitement and that conversations and all of that was an amazing thing to sit there and experience. And it was such a great, overwhelmingly great feeling when you finally accomplish something. Whereas now, you don't get any of that. And like, it drives me absolutely batty when like I sit here and I'm being bombarded, I'm being begged for shit. And if I do happen so to decide to help somebody and hand it to them, and they're like, "Oh my god, I got it! I completed it!" I'm like, "Bro, no, you didn't. No, you fucking did. I literally just gave you that. You turned it in. You didn't complete shit. Like, you literally just sat here on your ass begging me for shit, and I gave it to you, and you just said, hey, here it is. Like, you fucking literally did nothing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that shit drives me up the wall." In my opinion, you accomplished nothing.
Yeah. She's so spoiled. I cleared a spot for her, and then she's like, "No, no, I want to be right next to you." And now I can't see the fucking chat. I mean, I can. I just have to.
Right? Cloud's like, I wonder how many people bought the dry hard rod and ran around saying that they complete the quest. Right?
Yeah.
I already know I'm one.
I'm like, I mean, I'm gonna have to relog because this is killing me. I fucking hate it when my hotbar switch isn't working.
Right. But like, I mean, it's just. But by doing all of that and making the things easier and catering to that
They
definitely
fixed the reset.
makes it more difficult for us. But like at the same time, even with that, I think, like I said, that's my hypothesis though. Like we came from that era. This is now the era that we're in. This is now what's happening. But
Yeah.
at the same time, literally refusing to make any newer content better than
I have to totally
one
reload.
solo, oh, two pieces of equipment is absolutely ridiculous to me.
Hmm.
I think listening to an entire community and not actually doing what's best for a game is also ridiculous to me.
And say you they do that, and then like they lose a lot of what was their player base, and maybe the game does die because they stuck to their guns. That just means that you didn't find your player base. You know what I mean? Like you didn't find the people who were meant for your game. So go look somewhere else for the people who are meant for your game.
Right. Right. 100%. Like all that love that you initially had for the game, put that back into the game.
And then like maybe Roblox isn't the place for what I'm saying. Like if it fails on Roblox, maybe Roblox wasn't the place for it. So go remake the game and then go put it on Steam.
Bro, I definitely don't feel like Roblox is the place. I think there's way too much um uh what's the word? My brain's not braining. Uh there is definitely a lot of detail and things into this game that Roblox I think has a hard time running this game.
Yeah.
I mean I've said it before. While I know clearly from what I have gathered and researched and heard from other people, when there was the partnership between Nate and Big and the game basically died at that point, was apparently a not so good um, team up and it went down south. However, if there could be, and but because of that, I doubt they ever will again. But if they could ever find an actual studio that would do more benefit than harm for this game and team up and actually get it off Roblox, like maybe keep this version, but like do another version of this game and pull it from Roblox to either put out on Steam or put out on like all consoles or whatever. I would love to see this put into like Unreal or something like that and made into an actual legit game because it's got, like I said, a ton of potential. I would love to see it as an actual game being made.